My husband left me saying he needed space, that he was confused, that he didn't want to hurt me but needed time to find himself. 3 weeks later, I found out that that space was exactly 2 floors above my apartment, living with my cousin. And what destroyed me the most wasn't even that, but finding out that my own son had known from the beginning and had kept it from me because Dad told him it was a game. I'm Sophia. I'm 34 years old. I was married for almost 10 years to Andres. 36. We have a son, Lucas, he's 7. And he is literally the heart of my life. We live in an old but decent building, in 3B, in a middle-class neighborhood. The kind of building where the neighbors recognize each other by sight. Say hi in the elevator. Gossip a bit in the WhatsApp group. But everyone minds their own business. And then there's my family. I have a cousin, Valeria, the same age as me. We grew up almost like sisters. We shared vacations, clothes, secrets. And also constant comparison. She was the pretty one. The one who draws attention. I was the responsible one. The one who actually studies. The one who's organized. Valeria was always messy. Intense, dramatic. I was always the one who fixed things. Who carried the load. Who listened. My parents always said they could count on me for everything. Now I understand that for everything also included breaking me into pieces if necessary. My marriage to Andres wasn't perfect. But I thought it was solid. We had normal problems. Disagreements about money, exhaustion, routines. Less sex after Lucas was born. But nothing that made me think that one day he would pack his things into a suitcase and walk out the door, leaving his wife and his son behind. Andres worked in IT, some days from home, others at the office. I'm an accountant in a small company and, like many, I lived putting out fires. Work, the kid, the house, family. Everything all mixed together. Valeria had been lost for a few years, as my aunt said. She had disastrous relationships, jobs that lasted 3 months, debts. Drama. About a year ago, she started showing up in my life more often again. Because with you I feel calm, Sophie. And I, as always, opened the door. She would come over, throw herself on my couch, and tell me how all men are trash. Curiously, with Andres she was different. She dressed up more, laughed loudly, touched his arm when she talked. Careful, okay? I would joke with him. My cousin is dangerous. He would laugh. Double quotes. Oh, Sophie, do you really think I'd ever look at Valeria? He'd say, I've already got one drama queen at home. And I'd laugh too. I didn't see the bomb that was growing. The day everything exploded was just another Tuesday. I came home exhausted from work, with a headache, the kid's backpack, and the groceries half put away. Andres was acting weird. He wasn't in front of the computer, like always, but sitting at the table with a packed suitcase beside him. Are you going somewhere? I asked, not really processing it. He took a deep breath. I already knew something was wrong. Sophie, sit down, he said. Everything inside me screamed no. But I sat down. Don't tell me you lost your job. I tried to laugh. He shook his head. No, it's not that. He ran a hand over his face. It's just that I need space. That's how he said it. Cold, messy. As if it hurt him but not enough. Space? I repeated. What are you talking about? From me. He stammered. I feel like I'm suffocating. The house. The responsibilities. Everything. I don't know who I am anymore. I wake up tired. I go to sleep tired. I'm not happy, Sophie. I felt a mix of fear and anger. Then let's go to therapy, Andres, I said. We're all tired. You're not the only one. I also get up at 6, make breakfast, work, come back, do homework with Lucas, cook, clean. You haven't heard me say, I don't know who I am. You don't get it, he replied. It's not just the exhaustion. It's everything. I feel like the life we have isn't the one I wanted. Those words felt like a knife. And what did you want? I asked, my voice trembling. Wasn't it this? Your son? Your home? Not like this, he said, unable to look me in the eye. I don't know. I feel trapped. I need space. I need to leave for a while. Leave where? I spat. To whose place? Wherever I can, he said. An Airbnb, a friend's place. I don't know, I just need time to think. I don't want to lie to you, Sophie. I don't want to be one of those guys who stay but are somewhere else. I wanted to scream, Are you already with someone else? But I didn't dare. I was afraid of the answer. He called Lucas, hugged him, and told him that Dad is leaving for a few days. But I love you very much. I'm never going to stop being your dad. Lucas, at 7 years old, only asked, did I do something wrong? My heart broke. Of course not, my love, I told him. Dad is confused, but it's not because of you. Andres looked at me one last time, grabbed the suitcase and left, without slamming the door, without making a scene, like someone leaving on a business trip. The first days were hell. My mom told me not to exaggerate, that men get scared, then they come back. My mother-in-law called to tell me I should be understanding, that Andres had always been sensitive, that maybe he's depressed, don't pressure him. Valeria, my cousin, was the one who clung to me the most. That bastard doesn't know what he has, she'd tell me, hugging me. I swear if he were mine, I'd never let him go. Irony, right? Andres would send me messages. How are you? Tell Lucas I love him. Don't hate me, I answered dryly. We're fine. When you want to see your son, let me know. He came to see him some weekends. He'd show up with toys, junk food, and a cool dad smile. He'd take Lucas to the park, to the movies, to dinner, and bring him back asleep. Where are you living? I asked him once. With a friend, he said. Nothing stable. I don't want the kid going there. He said it looking at the floor. It didn't sound fully convincing, but I was so tired I didn't argue. Over time I started noticing things. Lucas would say things that didn't add up. Once, we were doing homework at the table and he was drawing a house, a building, something like that. Look, Mommy, he said. This is you, this is me. And this is Dad when he comes down. When he comes down from where? I asked automatically. From his house, he said, like it was nothing. His house where? I pressed. Lucas went quiet for a second, like he'd said something he shouldn't. In another neighborhood. He improvised. Farther away. I didn't think too much of it, but the phrase, when he comes down, stuck with me. Another time, we were in the kitchen and we heard noise upstairs. Footsteps, a chair dragging, something falling. The people on the 5th floor moving furniture again. I complained. It's not the 5th floor, Lucas said, without thinking. It's Dad. I froze. What do you mean it's Dad? I asked carefully. Nothing. I'm kidding. He corrected himself quickly. It's just that it always sounds like when he walks. A red light went off in my head. Up to that point, I didn't even know who lived on the 5th floor because we almost never ran into them, but the idea stayed there like a thorn. I started paying more attention. I noticed that some weekends, when Andres couldn't pick up Lucas because he was busy, I would hear the door upstairs opening and closing more than usual. Footsteps on the stairs, muffled laughter, and a perfume I knew way too well. Valeria's. During all that time, Valeria kept coming over to keep me company. I don't want you to get depressed, Safi, she'd say. Let's watch a movie, drink some wine, talk trash about the male species. When we talked about Andres, she was always on the try to understand him a little side. It's just that you're very controlling, she blurted out once. You want everything perfect. Maybe he did feel suffocated. Whose side are you on? I snapped, annoyed. Yours, obviously, she said. But I also get that people sometimes need their space. There were other details. A blouse of hers folded over a chair in my dining room when supposedly she hadn't been over. A grocery receipt dated a day I wasn't home, signed by her. My parents mentioning. It's just that Valeria has been really close to Andres' family lately. She's fond of them. I didn't want to think what was obvious. My brain defended itself by denying everything. Until reality exploded in my face. One Friday, leaving work, I stopped by the building management office to ask about late maintenance. Donna Mercedes, the building manager, is one of those ladies who knows everything. Oh, Safi, I was just about to look for you, she said. Do you know if your relatives on the 5th floor are finally going to sort out their moving stuff? I just stared at her. What relatives? I asked. The ones in 5, as she said. You didn't know? I thought you were all from the same clan. The girl looks a lot like you. And I've seen the guy come down several times with your little boy. I felt the floor shift under me. What are their names? I asked, my mouth dry. She said her name is Valeria, she replied. And him, I think Andres. They came to the neighbors' meeting about a month ago. My ears were ringing. Do they live there? I repeated, like I needed confirmation. For about 3 months now, dear, she said casually. They're renting. And the boy comes often. I thought you already knew. Aren't they your relatives? I smiled in a way that wasn't a smile. Yeah, I said. Yes, they're family. I said goodbye as best I could. I went back to my apartment shaking. My confused husband wasn't living with a friend. He was living 2 floors up with my cousin. And my son was going up and down the stairs. That night, I waited until Lucas was relaxed. We were in his bed, already in pajamas, reading a story. Honey, I said, closing the book. Can I ask you something and you tell me the truth, even if you think I'm going to get mad? He looked at me with his big eyes. Am I in trouble? He asked. No, I assured him. You're not in trouble, I just need to know some things. He nodded. Does Dad live near here? I asked. Very near. He went silent. You promised you wouldn't scold me, he whispered. That's when I knew he knew everything. I'm not going to scold you, I repeated. I swear. But tell me, does Dad live in this building? He lowered his gaze. On the floor upstairs, he murmured. With Cousin Vale, I felt my heart drop. I didn't cry. I clenched my teeth. Since when have you known? I asked. Since he took me up once to see his new house, he said. He told me it was a secret between us. That you couldn't know because you were going to get sad. That it was like a game. What game? I asked, with a knot in my throat. The game where I only tell you that I see him somewhere else, he explained. That if you asked, I should say we went to the park or the movies. That if I said we went up the stairs, you'd make an angry face. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run upstairs and knock down the door of 5A. But I had my son next to me, trembling. Did they make you feel bad for not telling me? I asked. Did they scold you if you said anything? He shook his head. No, he said, it's just... Dad looked sad when he talked about you. Cousin Vale said you get mad if you found out. And I didn't want you to fight. I didn't want you to stop loving me. I was swallowing my own tears. I promise you something, I told him. Nothing you say or don't say will ever make me stop loving you. That's impossible. Okay? Even if I tell the secrets? He asked. Even then, especially if you tell the secrets. He hugged me tight, like he was the one protecting me. Are you going to scold Dad? He asked small. I'm not going to scold him, I replied. I'm going to talk to him. And to Cousin Vale. Adults have to listen when they do things that are wrong. None of this is your fault. I let him fall asleep. I walked out of the room and closed the door gently. And there, in the darkness of the hallway, I finally broke down. When I ran out of tears, I got up. I wasn't going to wait any longer. I went up the stairs slowly. Counting the steps, 1 flight, 2, 3. Up to 5A. The door was closed. I could hear the TV inside. I knocked once, twice, 3 times. Nothing. I knocked harder. We're coming. I heard Valeria's voice. She opened the door with a mechanical smile that vanished as soon as she saw me. Sophie, she whispered. What are you doing here? Behind her, the hallway. A bit further in. The couch in her living room. On the couch, tossed aside. One of Andres' jackets, his work backpack next to the table. And in the back, his voice. Who is it, love? That word drilled into me. Love. Valeria tried to close the door. But I put my foot in. If you close it, I'll knock it down, I said. In a tone I didn't recognize in myself. Andres came into view, wearing an old t-shirt and shorts. Like he was in his own home. When he saw me, you went pale, Sophia. He stmmered. I walked in without asking permission. I looked around. The place was full of things I recognized. The coffee maker we'd bought together. The blanket we used in our living room. Even a painting we'd been given as a wedding present. It was like seeing a recycled version of my life, 2 floors up. So, a friend, I said, with an empty laugh. And a bit of space. Valeria and Andres looked at each other, cornered. Sophie, let me explain, he tried. I don't want technical explanations, I cut him off. I want just one thing first. For you to tell me how long you've been living together here, above me, while you played the role of exemplary separated dad. Andres swallowed hard. 3 months, he said at last. I started out renting a room with a friend, then your friend, my cousin, opened her legs and the apartment for you, I interrupted. Got it. That's the summary. Valeria, with her eyes full of fake tears, finally spoke. It wasn't like that. She murmured. You and Andres were already in a bad place before. You two weren't a couple anymore, Sophie. You just... Hadn't realized it. I looked at her with a hatred. I never thought I could feel for someone I'd shared my childhood with. And we're practically sisters, Code. I asked. Your loyalty? Your empathy? I also have a right to be happy. She shot back suddenly. My whole life, you were the one with the perfect life. The stable husband, the family, the kid, the apartment. I was always the mess. For once, life gave me something good. I'm not going to let it go just because you got there first. Andres tried to come closer. Sophie, he said. Things with Valeria started after I left. Not before. Is that supposed to comfort me? I laughed. That you weren't screwing her in my bed but 2 floors up? He went quiet. And Lucas? I asked, looking at both of them. Who was the genius who decided it was a great idea to bring him up here and make him part of the secret? Valeria lowered her eyes. We were just playing with him. She tried. You asked him to lie to me. I cut her off. You asked him to hide from me that his dad lives with his cousin right above us. Does that seem like nothing to you? Andre sat down like he couldn't stand on his feet anymore. I thought it was better, he said. I didn't want you to find out like this. I didn't want it to turn into a scandal. And how did you expect me to find out? I stared at him. With an invitation to your wedding? With the building's WhatsApp group congratulating you on your new home? Silence. That's when I saw something else. On the table, next to some coffee cups, there was an envelope from a lab. I grabbed it before they could react. I opened it. Inside. A sheet. Pregnancy test. Result. Positive. I looked at Valeria. Her hand instinctively went to her still flat belly. Pregnant too? I asked. Perfect. The full combo. Husband, home, baby. 2 floors up. Valeria started crying for real now. Desperately. I'm scared, Sophie. She sobbed. I don't know how I'm going to handle this. I don't have your strength. I do need someone. I looked at her coldly. I also needed someone when I found out my husband was leaving. I replied, and I didn't go looking for any cousin's boyfriend. What you did isn't need. It's betrayal. And the worst kind. I left the apartment without yelling, without throwing things. Without a soap opera scene. I think that scared them more. I went down to my place. Locked the door and breathed. I called my mom. Can you come over tomorrow? I asked. Did something happen with Lucas? She panicked. No, I said. Something happened with you. The next morning, my parents arrived. They sat in the living room. Nervous. Lucas was at a friend's house. Safe from everything. I didn't beat around the bush. Since when have you known that Andres lives here upstairs with Valeria? I asked. My mom froze for 2 seconds. Then her face said it all. Sophia! She began. Just answer. I insisted. My dad spoke up. Since they moved in, he admitted. Andres asked us to be discreet. He said you were very sensitive, that if he told you all at once, you'd fall apart. I felt like gagging. And you thought it was better for me to find out from the building manager? I asked. Or from my son, crying. My mom tried to justify herself. I didn't want you to hurt yourself, she said. I know you, Sophie. You're intense. I thought that if you knew he was with someone else, you'd fall into a deep hole. And then there's the baby. What baby? I asked, even though I already knew. Valeria is pregnant, she said. Andres told us. Your father and we thought that, even if it hurts, the best thing for Lucas was to have his father close by. 2 floors up, he can see him more often. We didn't want him to move to another neighborhood, another city. I laughed. Not the funny kind. The sad kind, of course, I said. What's best for Lucas? Never what's best for Sophia, right? As long as the kid has his dad nearby. Who cares if his mom has to run into her husband, lover, pregnant cousin in the elevator? As long as you can go upstairs and have coffee with the 3 of them, everything's fine. My dad raised his voice. Your son is the most important thing, he said. If you'd seen how Lucas lit up when he talked about his dad living so close. My son lit up because they turned him into a little spy. I cut in. Because they told him keeping secrets is fun. Does that seem healthy to you? My mom, desperate, blurted out something I didn't expect. And what did you want us to do? She cried. Reject our pregnant niece? Kick Andres out and let him leave far away with the boy? Sophia, family is complicated. We had to choose the lesser evil. The lesser evil for whom? I asked. Because for me, it was the worst. Silence. All at once. I saw it clearly. They had already chosen sides. In their minds, I was the strong one. The one who can handle it. Valeria. The weak one. The one who needs protection. Andres. The good dad who just got confused. I was the acceptable collateral damage. I wish I could say I caused an epic scene, that I kicked everyone out, that I smashed things. But no, what I did was worse for them. I calmed down, listened carefully. I said, no longer cry. I can't stop Andres from living with Valeria, or from having a child with her, or from you seeing them as the new model couple. That's beyond my control. I took a deep breath. What is under my control is this. As soon as I can, I'm leaving this building. I'm not going to keep living under you like a ghost. I'm going to file for divorce. No drama, no favors. Just paperwork. Lucas is going to keep seeing his father, but with rules. No secrets, no little house upstairs. If he wants to spend time with him and with Valeria, it'll be somewhere else. Not in the home we built, nor in the one you set up above us. And you, Mom, and you, Dad, are going to stop deciding for me what's convenient for me to know or not know. That era is over. My mom cried like I was throwing her out on the street. Don't do this to us, honey, she said. Family's all we have. No, I corrected her. All you have is your comfort. I also have the right to look for mine. They stood up, offended, hurt, confused. They left without a kiss, without a hug. I stayed alone, in what used to be my happy family living room. It wasn't easy. Moving with a child. Looking for an apartment, filing for divorce. Putting up with comments like, you're overreacting. You could have forgiven him. It all wears you down. I found a small apartment in another neighborhood, farther from school. Yes, cheaper and older, too. But with something I hadn't had in a long time. Peace. Andres was outraged at first. Why are you going so far? He'd say. Things were fine with Lucas here, nearby. You were fine. I answered. I wasn't. I'm not going to keep carrying the stage you all set up. We signed the divorce, without a war. He threw a few financial tantrums. But in the end, he preferred to negotiate rather than be exposed. Custody went to me. He has alternate weekends and some weekdays. Valeria stopped writing to me. I heard gossip through others that the pregnancy was more complicated than expected. That she and Andres argue because he can't get over how coldly Sophia left. That my mom treats the baby like it's her only. Light, I don't hate the baby, none of this is their fault. But I'm not going to hold them in my lap for the family picture either. Over time, Lucas started talking about Dad's house as something separate from our life. When he wants to tell me something, he does it without fear. I listen. I don't badmouth anyone in front of him. But I do repeat one thing. There are no secrets between you and me. Whatever happens, whatever you feel, you can tell me. One day, months later, he asked me something that disarmed me. Mom, are you sad because Dad lives with Cousin Vale? I thought about my answer. I was very sad, I told him. Now, I'm more angry than sad. But I'm also calm because I made choices to take care of myself. And when I take care of myself, I'm taking care of you too. Do you still love Dad? He asked. I respect him as your dad, I replied. As a husband, not anymore. And that's okay. Sometimes adults stop loving each other as a couple, but we never stop loving our kids. He went quiet thinking. So, if one day someone makes me feel the way you used to feel, can I leave too? He asked, innocently. I looked at him with tenderness and a new kind of strength. Not only can you, I said. You must. No one has the right to live on top of you, using your feelings as a staircase. He smiled. Like something suddenly clicked. Sometimes, when I tell this story, people get stuck on the drama of the husband and the cousin. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's dirty, but what marked me most wasn't the infidelity. It was realizing how many people with my own blood were willing to place me as a sacrificial piece on their board. As long as the family system kept running. My husband left. My cousin stayed with his scraps. My parents showed whose side they were on. And I was left with something they don't understand. The ability to close the door, change floors, change my life and my story. Without asking anyone's permission. Andres needed space. In the end, the one who truly took it was me.